It was early on Christmas morning of 2020 in Nashville, Tennessee, when residents saw a mysterious RV pull up to a commercial street. There were gunshots, followed by a computerized voice telling people to evacuate now. A few minutes later, the RV exploded. It caused major damage to the surrounding area, and it killed the driver inside. It was later revealed that the man responsible for that suicide bombing, he acted alone. But at the time, someone saw the news about that Nashville bombing and became concerned that it might be part of a larger domestic terrorist attack, an attack that person knew was supposed to take place at the U.S. Capitol in less than 2 weeks on January 6th. And so that person sent an anonymous tip to the FBI, quote, "They will all be armed. They think that they will have a large enough group to march into D.C. armed and will outnumber the police so they can't be stopped. They believe that since the election was stolen, that it's their constitutional right to overtake the government, and during this coup, no U.S. laws apply. Their plan is to literally kill people. Please, please take this tip seriously and investigate further. Especially after what happened in Nashville today, this could be a test run. I think they will have large numbers, and every single one of them is expecting and eager to use their weapons." That tip was one of many examples listed in a new Senate report on the intelligence failures leading up to the Capitol attack. The report paints a damning picture of the missed opportunities to prevent or prepare for that insurrection. But what might be the most revealing here is that it confirms what many people, including President Biden, what many people knew to be true in the moments right after January 6th.
No one can tell me that if had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesting yesterday, they wouldn't have been treated very, very differently than the mob of thugs that stormed the Capitol. We all know that's true. And it is unacceptable, totally unacceptable.
According to this Senate report, in the lead up to January 6th, the intelligence community focused intensely on Black-led racial justice protests, while effectively ignoring threats from right-wing domestic terrorists. In the summer of 2020, just a few months before the attack, protests erupted across the country over the killing of George Floyd. According to the Senate's report, during those protests, intelligence leadership was particularly focused on the civil unrest in Portland, and everything relating to it was treated as being urgent. Intelligence collectors were pressured to find evidence to support management's conclusion about the Portland protests, such as by linking the protests to Antifa, despite the fact that overwhelming intelligence regarding the motivations or affiliations of the violent protesters did not exist. Following those protests, an internal review at DHS found that intelligence officials had been too zealous in trying to prove racial justice protests were part of some Antifa conspiracy. The evidence simply did not exist. And so instead of redirecting its attention toward real domestic threats, like right-wing extremism, the Department of Homeland Security decided it would just investigate everyone a little bit less. The report describes a pendulum swing within the intel community that had a chilling effect on reporting information about January 6th. Quote, "They thought almost anything was reportable during the Portland protests, but they were hesitant or fearful to report information related to January 6th events." The intelligence community failed to understand the rise of white supremacist violence in America while buying into a false narrative about the violent potential of people seeking racial justice, many of them people of color.